Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Amanda Dittlinger and I am a neurodivergent woman. I have autism, ADHD, aphantasia, and a rare memory disorder called SDAM. So it's the new year and everyone is so full of New Year's resolutions and excitement and new beginnings. And I'm really just not feeling it this year. I think part of it is I did not sleep good last night, but I normally have always thought of myself as very goal oriented. I really like setting goals and then working towards them. But I noticed in like the last several years before my diagnosis, even, I was kind of stagnating towards my goals. I was setting small goals for myself because I just was kind of just paralyzed on how to achieve the things that I want to achieve. And now looking back, I realize a lot of that is unsupported autism. Because when you're autistic and you don't have a diagnosis, to have even an awareness of what's going on with your sensory regulation and being able to understand social cues and things like that, it takes a toll. It's hard to set goals when they continually don't get met because you don't have the right toolbox. So, I would set small goals, personal goals, things that I could manage. Like I'm going on 4 years of daily yoga. I do a minimum of 15 minutes of yoga every day, and I have for almost 4 years. April will be 4 years, so still have a couple months away. And that was a goal I could set to do yoga every day. And it was personal to me. It didn't require anyone else to achieve that goal. And while it is a big goal, there's not that many people who can say they practice yoga literally every single day. I practiced in airports and on the beach and, all different hours of the day to make sure that I would get it in. And, it was a fun challenge. I'm actually going to stop counting at my 4-year goal. I'm just done. And I'm going to talk about that also in this video too, related to special interest. But having that goal I didn't have to count on anybody else. It was just me. Then in 2021, I decided to set a bigger goal for myself. I decided I was going to start a YouTube channel and I wanted to monetize it. I wanted to just do that just to prove that I could. I was just looking for something to expand my skill set. I mentioned in previous video that I was a graphic designer, but I'd never done any kind of video editing at all. And that was very intimidating. But I started a cooking YouTube channel because I'd always loved to cook. And so I knew content was important. You had to have enough of something to talk about to sustain a YouTube channel. So I knew that I could talk about cooking all the time. That's just a topic that I could go on and on about without exhaustion. And then I set about learning how to do it and learning all the ins and outs of making a YouTube channel. And I joined Facebook groups that talked about the algorithm and taught how you do that. And I'd watch other YouTube videos on the algorithm, and I wanted to monetize within a year, which is a lofty goal. There's so many hundreds, thousands, multiple thousands of YouTube channels. And there's a lot of them that are not monetized. I forgot what the stats were. I looked it up. A lot of YouTube channels take 2+ years to monetize. This one currently is not monetized. And even still, so I've been monetized on my, so it took me 1 year and 8 months to monetize on Dit. And that was devastating to me. Like, it hit me so hard. Like, it really consumed a lot of my energy that I did not reach my goal. It was an arbitrary goal I made up. And I was so confused because I really enjoyed making the content. It wasn't really about the money. It was really about setting a goal and trying to reach it. It was a goal that I literally could not achieve by myself. It is not a personal goal that I was in control of. In order to monetize a YouTube channel, you have to have 1,000 subscribers and you have to have 4,000 watch hours. Those are the current guidelines as of, making this video. And I loved, and I still do, I love making content. Like, I love the creative process of putting together a video. Now, there are so many much better video editors out there, but I never realized how creative the editing experience really can be. Now, I keep editing minimal on this channel for a lot of reasons. I don't do a lot of flashy transitions and sounds and things like that because I don't want a lot of visual or auditory stimulation on this channel. So I keep it to a minimum, and I'm very choosy when I do use, certain editing techniques. But on my cooking channel, while I still am not as flashy and crazy as some people, I do get to have some fun every once in a while with different techniques. And I love learning new aspects of editing and coming up with content and researching. And I've done some collaborations with other YouTube cooking channels, and it's just been really fun. But there's still always, and this comes back to the autism, there's always this aspect of, what am I missing? Like, I felt and I feel like often there's just something that I'm missing. And there'd be other cooking channels, and I'm not in a scarcity mindset. I believe that there is enough space for all of us to succeed. There's, so many billions of people on this planet, and YouTube has billions of users. There's plenty of, room for all of us to succeed. But I would see another cooking channel out there and I would see what they produced, and I, objectively would feel like mine was similar, but I still just don't get the views or the subscription rate as fast as some of my fellow cooking creators. And so it's just always this missing, like, what are they doing that I'm not? Like, and that just goes to my entire life. And I don't fault them for that at all. I'm very happy for their success. I'm just highlighting that as an example because I've always had this feeling, like, every single time I've done anything in my life, I can see other people's success and not be able to mimic it on my own or achieve it on my version of that. For this channel, I have not set any kind of goals. I mean, if it monetizes, I obviously would be happy for that. But I just started this channel because I really wanted a space to just explore who I am and have a voice. I've always had this invisible feeling. I've said this so many times in my life where I feel invisible. And I thought, when I found out about that I had aphantasia, which is the inability to visualize in your mind's eye, I thought perhaps it was because of that. Like, I can't see what I look like in my own mind. So I thought maybe that's why I feel invisible, because if I can't see myself, I can't imagine other people seeing me either. But I don't necessarily even just mean physically invisible. I just mean like my voice is never heard. My feelings and emotions were never validated by, society and people and teachers. And now I realize that's the autism. Maybe it's some aphantasia, but that's the experience of a lot of autistic individuals. Our feelings and emotions have been invalidated for so long that we are invisible to our own selves. Our experience a lot of times, and I'm not speaking for everybody, every autistic person is unique, but I have heard this conversation from several people. And a specific example I can give is I hate the cold. I hate being cold. When I'm cold, it hurts. It is the only thing I can focus on, and I'm miserable, and my skin and my body feels pain. And I would be cold, and I would tell people I'm cold, and people would tell me, "Oh, it's not that bad. It's not that cold. You're fine. Put some layers on." Layers work, but not always. For instance, when I slept growing up, I would wear socks, jogging pants, long sleeve jogging shirt, a quilt, a down comforter, maybe some other layers in there. Like, I would literally bundle up to sleep because I would be so cold in the winter. And then just when you hear over and over, "You're not really cold. It's not that cold, Amanda." I mean, I grew up in Houston, Texas. Okay, Houston, Texas. That is not a cold environment. Um, so I learned to disassociate. Okay, I'm not cold, even though it hurt. And that's just one example. There's so many times where you would have a feeling and an emotion and be told it was wrong because your sensory input was different from other people's. And so that led to an invisible feeling. So I created this account because I wanted a place where nobody could tell me my voice was wrong. I get to say whatever I want on this channel because it's mine. And I'm not going to say things that I don't believe that are true. I'm not saying like I want to spread misinformation or anything like that. I'm just saying that if I say I felt cold, well, damn it, I felt cold, and I get to say that now. Oh my God, I did not realize this channel was going to be so many tears. I hope you'll stick with me, guys, because this is a freaking process. Learning that you're autistic. If you go back to this video, the day that I found out that I got my official DX, I'd already been self-diagnosed, but I did go ahead and go through the process of getting a formal diagnosis. And it all happened very, very quick for me. A lot of people, it goes a lot slower. For me, it was a very fast, in general, diagnosis process. But I was so happy, and I still am. I don't want to I am very, very glad I got diagnosed. And yet, it is on that day, if I knew what was going to be the next couple of months of like me crying anytime I'm alone, pretty much, whenever my mind gets a moment to have a quiet time, because I am processing so much. I'm talking out loud to myself for the first time ever. I literally feel like I'm finding my voice. People who say they talk out loud to themselves, I'm like, I never could. Like, it felt awkward. It felt weird. But yesterday, I was driving home by myself, and I just started talking out loud in the car to myself, and it was weird, but it was wonderful. And it was like I could hear myself thinking for the first time. And I don't know, I just feel like it's all part of it. Like all these different things about myself that I never even realized were there are just popping out left and right. Anyway, um, I love when these videos just take a life of their own. I actually had intended to create this video, a little bit about New Year's resolutions, but also wanted to talk about special interests. So I was pulling out this crochet yarn because I wanted to talk about how I started a crochet project over a year ago, and I'm still working on it. I keep putting it down for months, but I keep coming down back to it because like I'm determined to finish this project. It was it's a Korok, which is a little creature in the Zelda game that my son wanted me to crochet for him, and I said I wanted to, and I, agreed to it. And then when we picked out the pattern and the yarn that it called for is like just barely thicker than thread. It's been a project. Let's just say that. I will be very, very pleased to be done with this thing. So that is another one of my goals. I don't want to spend the whole entire year, but I want to get this done probably by the end of this month. As like, I want to just focus on it and get it done. But crochet became a special interest a couple of years ago. And the first time that I was like, I'm going to teach myself how to crochet, I don't know what sparked the interest. That's a funny thing about my special interest is like, who knows what will spark it, but it's just like a switch gets turned on in my brain. And then that's literally all I can think about. And the first day that I picked up a crochet needle, I sat down with tutorials and crocheted for 8 hours straight that day. And the next day, I could hardly move my fingers because they were so stiff from holding the needle in a new position that I hadn't used my hands in. So that, and I was just crocheting. Oh my God, so much. And then as soon as it turned, like just like it turned off, my special interest turn on, my special interest can turn off just as quickly. And that's why this one has taken so long. It's because all of a sudden my brain is off crochet, but I have a commitment to this project, so I want to complete it. And it's not that I won't ever crochet again, it just won't ever be with that same intensity. Now, I think that's the ADHD. So a lot of autistic people have, there's like squeaky noises outside my window. Sorry. A lot of ADHD and autistic people will have one or two special interests their entire life. I think because I'm ADHD and autistic, I have special interest bursts, and some of them last 6 months, some of them last 4 years, like the yoga. Because that's another one that started off one day. I'm like, I'm just going to learn yoga. And then, like, I had done yoga before here and there. But when I like switched it on, I became a yoga obsessed. Everything was about yoga. And that's kind of what happened with the YouTube channel too. I had kind of had the idea in the back of my head that I wanted to start a YouTube channel. And then once I did, I was cranking out videos left and right. Like it becomes all consuming obsession when you get a special interest. Well, anyway, so this video didn't really end up being completely about special interest, but I kind of like where it went anyway. Important things said. I'm still kind of processing every day is just part of the journey. I had a really good session with my therapist last week, and she said that right now, because I'm just completely unpacking all of this, it's coming at super fast speed, but eventually my brain will process as much information, as it can, and then it'll slow down and I won't feel this intense. And then a new experience or memory might pop up. And I use the word memory loosely because of my memory disorder, but will pop up, but it won't be like one right after the other, like I'm having right now. So that did provide me some relief. So it's just part of the process that I'm in right now. So I'm going to go ahead and finish winding this because it's a color change, and part of the first thing of crochet or any yarn project is respooling it. I don't know why they don't sell it that way, but whatever. Thank you guys so much for watching this video and subscribing and supporting this channel, learning all about being neurodivergent along with me. And until the next one, bye.